They conduct these physiological experiments on their own children, considering it a new normal. If 85 years ago in concentration camps, such as Auschwitz, Salaspils, and many others, blood was drawn from children, they were killed, their skin removed, new drug experiments were conducted, and it was said to be normal, today, under the guise of some gender diversity, people with similarly disturbed psyches perform such experiments on children they consider their own and to whom they supposedly wish well. The concentration of leverage allows them not just to manipulate information through fakes, provocations, and lies. They've been doing this for a long time. With the help of generative technologies, their owners and those behind them will be able to reprogram consciousness at a basic level. In the era of post-truth, truth is as they try to shape it, not objective reality, not facts, but what will be embedded in artificial intelligence models. In the medium term, artificial intelligence will become the main source of knowledge about events, the world, history, and literally everything. Even today, it's an indispensable assistant for millions of people, whose answers they trust implicitly. Digital sovereignty takes on special significance, which today only a few states possess. This is indeed the case. Unfortunately, not every state today, including financially, can claim digital sovereignty. Unlike the West, such countries as Russia, China, we are ready to share our developments and achievements. We are ready to accept cooperation and partnership with other countries and do so on the basis of mutual respect, developing international legal norms of regulation, and directly sharing specific practices in mastering artificial intelligence technology in their application. They have honed the skill of disinformation, creating false reality, including through a special mechanism. This is no longer just a tool, it's a special mechanism, the legitimization of lies. They use traditional media outlets to whitewash any false information and lend credibility to any biased pseudo-source, presenting it as authoritative. Ultra-liberal elites now have the opportunity to throw virtually any fairy tales into the public arena. We have now seen all this, and you have seen and observed it, with regard to the Russian-American contacts that were mentioned, which required further elaboration. Immediately, there was a flurry of activity, leaks, unnamed sources, and so on and so forth. All of this migrated from anonymous social media accounts to traditional, respectable, they love that word, traditional media outlets. Since the story about the so-called children kidnapped by Russia, taken or stolen, as they also say, from the territory of Ukraine, simply settled in traditional mass media. They did not put anything in quotes, did not add asterisks in the form of footnotes, and nowhere did they write that this information comes from only one source and has not found its confirmation for several years. No, all this before our very eyes turned into mainstream, a monstrous by its cynicism fake. In all cultures, among all peoples, children are the most vulnerable, the most protected part of society. Using children in their political games, juggling their lives is taboo. It is taboo for any normal person and, accordingly, any normal society. But we remember that they offer us a new normal instead of the real one. This thesis was thrown around everywhere, accusing our country, accusing the leadership of our country. It reached the most disgraceful level. They began to voice their lies on UN platforms with media support from the United Nations Secretariat. It is indeed a catastrophe. It wasn't enough for them to simply make inserts. They needed legitimization. They rolled out this story not just through traditional newspapers, magazines, television. They needed accomplices. IT was a mutual cover-up. Digital sovereignty is precisely the guarantee that we will have the opportunity to maintain two channels of information distributing, receiving feedback both outside and inside our country. That's what digital sovereignty is for. One of the components of digital sovereignty is the ability to distribute information abroad. Digital sovereignty is not a huge padlock that you should hang on your internal digital information space, letting no one out and no one in. Digital sovereignty is the ability to keep your channels for distributing, receiving, and delivering information without destructive external influence. When we talk about digital sovereignty, we are talking about the ability to spread and receive information that would not be under the control of those who have now declared us an object for strategic defeat. Digital sovereignty is a system that guarantees your existence in the digital space. Right now, our country is facing this problem more than ever. They could have simply forced us out if we didn't have our own sources of information and content to rely on.